What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our latest video. My name's Connor, and today we're going to do a farm tour. We are on location at Incredible Edible Landscapes, our tropical fruit tree and exotic edible plant nursery in Loxahatchee, Florida. Today is August 19th, 2024, and we're going to do a little walk around, farm tour, farm update, show you what is growing and ripening this time of year. And I believe there is some ripe fruit out there for us to pick. So without further ado, let's get into it. Man, that is beautiful. Super ripe. Let's give it a try. Garden right here on the left, and there's a lot of different fruit trees in here, lots of bananas, medicinals, natives, and interesting things to see. There's even a beautiful papaya right here to greet you when you walk inside, and those fruit aren't ready yet. They're still developing, so that's exciting to look forward to. I brought our fruit harvesting wagon for this journey, a couple of tools that we might need, and let's see how much we can fill this wagon up by the time we're done here. So as we start walking through here, you'll notice there's a huge diversity of plant species in here, and I definitely will not be able to name each and every one of them, but I will point out a few items of interest and maybe some things that I'm extra excited about. On the left, we actually have an edible hedge first thing when you start walking through. A couple of different tropical cherry species. There's a grumichama, and a few feet away, a pitomba. Another few feet, a second grumichama, and then another pitomba here in the corner. Some of my favorite tropical cherry species. There's a yerba mate right here as well. Got some big elderberries blooming up here in the corner. This whole garden is buzzing with bees and butterflies at the moment. We've got a Vista White loquat here on the left. Gave us a good crop this year. Now it's putting on some new growth for the summer and probably give us an even bigger crop this coming spring. We've got a sapadilla tree here on my right that was actually just recently planted and already starting to put out some little sapadillas. We did have a dwarf mame growing here, but it just wasn't really taking off. Wasn't filling in like some of the other plants in the area, so we decided to make the switch. And I think the sapadilla is gonna be real happy. This is the Anona variety. It's even got more flower buds coming in right now. And you can see there's some jack bean that's actually growing and climbing up the sapadilla right now. We have jack bean growing as our ground cover nitrogen fixer right here at the base. We just direct seeded those when we planted the tree. On the left here is a sweet tart mango. And I think this is where we're gonna find our first pick of the day. Well, it looks like our little sweet tart tree here was ahead of us and decided to just place it on the ground for me. Wasn't that nice? So this is kind of a late harvest of mangoes, and the season's pretty much done. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 more fruits left on this tree. So we're getting to the end of the line on mangoes. Very grateful for this fruit right here. This is in my top 5, if not top 3 mango varieties, sweet tart. It's one of my absolute favorites. Highly recommend trying it if you haven't already. And let me know what you think. You'll see bananas on the left and right and everywhere in this video. And one of our best strategies that I always encourage people to do is to plant bananas in between every single fruit tree that you plant. It might take your mangoes or your avocados 2, 3, 4 years to really come into production. But in the meantime, in 6 to 12 months, you can get bananas fruiting over and over again in that open space in the middle. If you space your trees out properly, you're gonna have about 15 to 20 feet in between. And so you can plant bananas in all the gaps and get lots of bananas. Now, right across the row here from the sweet tart mango, there's a day avocado. One of probably my top favorite variety of avocado that I've tried so far. And it's an early season fruit. I think it's got some for us as well. See See a nice one right here that's ready. This is actually the second year, or maybe third year in a row, I think it fruited in the pot before we planted it, that it's been producing. Here's a dwarf Namwa rack that's just hanging right here next to the pathway to say hello. There is this bunch of the Missy Lucky bananas that's almost ready. They're plumping up. You can see the difference between these and the other racks I was filming. And I could harvest this now and I think it would ripen up fine, but I'm gonna just see how long it takes to start ripening here on the plant. And we've got our beautiful red salad tree hanging out here in the shade, edible leaf hibiscus. So we've collected about 5 varieties of the edible leaf hibiscus or salad tree, and it's definitely one of our top favorite vegetables that we grow here at the farm. The leaves get so big you can even use them like a burrito wrap. So over here on the left we have, well, it kind of looks like an open space. We did have a larger mango tree here, a creme brulee variety, but we decided to switch it with a different variety that I believe is going to be a little bit more productive for us here in Loxahatchee. So this is an Angie. Really delicious mango. If you like cherry, you'll probably like an Angie. If you look real close inside the canopy of this star fruit, hiding in there, there is some fruit hanging, there's some flowers. Potentially this fall, maybe this winter, we'll get some carambolas up here. This is one of 2 carambola trees we have in the ground. There's another papaya right next to it. And a little clump of dwarf Brazilian bananas. Got another sapadilla hidden behind the Mexican sunflower and these wildflowers. There's a butterscotch sapadilla growing in right here. I see some little flowers on this guy. There's some sugarcane growing right behind it. Got a little patch of sugarcane here in this back corner. And let's keep moving, see what we can find. So also up here at the front of the property, we've got our big stockpile of wood chips. This stuff right here is the key for healthy soil biology and getting a food forest like this off to a really strong start. Natural mulch, natural wood chips is where it's at. So if you stop by the nursery, we can fill your truck, we can fill your trailer, or we can deliver a load to you if you want to use what I consider the best kept secret of growing a thriving food forest, especially here in South Florida. I think there's some sapadillas hiding here in the nursery on some of our big sapadilla trees, so we're gonna go check and see what we can find. This right here is a Hacia sapadilla, one of the best. It's considered out of all the sapadillas, has a great flavor. And I was just checking this fruit the other day, and oh yeah, even just a couple days ago it was hard, and now it's soft and it just came off right in my hand. Now the key with picking sapadilla, in my experience, is feeling the texture, and if they're smooth, they're ready and they will ripen fine off the tree. This one, you may not be able to see it, but it's got a kind of a sandpapery rough texture. And we have some potted atoya trees over here with some mature fruit on them. This is a Lisa atoya with a couple of fruit that I'll pick. And we have bags on them to keep the Anona seed borer from laying its eggs in the fruit. So that's our protective measure there. You can tell that atoya fruit is ready to pick when these little scales start to spread apart and you can see that lighter color in between them, like it's bulging out. That's how you know that they're ready, and you can pick them hard and they will soften up on the counter within a few days. So everything in the nursery right now is just super lush and growing beautifully, and we're out here every week, it seems like, trimming these trees back and keeping them nice and compact and bushy and from growing all over each other. But we've got a little bit of everything in here. There's some big mangoes down at the end, a lot of different eugenias, tropical cherries, jackfruits, mamey sapote. There's a whole row of atoya. Lots of beautiful trees in here. There's a big Jaboticabas, fruiting age Jabos. We've got lots of nice loquats, starfruit, carambola trees, More Jaboticabas, all different varieties. Star apples. Oh, there's some figs over here, and look at that. Actually, we've got some ready to pick. When they start drooping down like that and they look like they're inflated like a balloon, that's when they're ready. And which variety is this? This is Flanders, which actually, from what I remember last year, was one of my favorite varieties. It's got a like a red strawberry colored interior there and got some good berry fig flavor. Awesome. And here's a little pro tip if you're growing figs. Right about midsummer, you want to cut the growing tip of the tree off, because all while this is growing, it's forming little buds at each leaf that can potentially form a fig. So if you cut it right at the top and you stop that sap flow going up forward in the new growth, then it'll actually be forced to push out those fig buds at each node. And so if you look down this tree, you'll see a fig at almost every single node. And we have some nice big araza trees here in 7-gallon that are flowering all over. About half a dozen of them right here. Sour and tastes kind of like a lemon. It's in the Eugenia family, so it's related to the other tropical cherries that I've mentioned already. So here's a brand new addition to the farm that we have not featured on this channel yet, and you probably haven't seen it unless you've been here in the past couple of months. So we just finished up construction on this pole barn just last month in July. Really great addition to the farm, and it's still a work in progress. We're going to be building an office right here in the next couple of months. Going to build a nice big fruit stand in the middle. It's just a great relief for our customers, especially to get out of the sun while they're picking out their plants. So here's another one of our demonstration plantings, and this one is a little bit different than the front garden. This is just a single row of mangoes, but it's a wider row with a bunch of different other species planted in between. So we've got our mangoes at 16-foot spacing. There's a Pickering mango right there. And then in between each mango tree, we have, again, another banana and lots of different tropical vegetable crops in between. Some sugar cane and more yucca and sugar cane down the row. We've got sweet potato covering the whole ground in this row. Here's a honeykiss mango. We did get a good 60 or 70 fruits on this tree this year. And this is our Super Alfonso mango. This tree did flower a little bit. It made one fruit this year and it fell off before it was mature. So only 2 years, and these trees are definitely very established. A few of them are already producing this year. Mango is definitely my favorite fruit of all time. Here's another beautiful mango tree right here. This is an orange sherbet. One of our most vigorous varieties here. So this large tree right here is one of the only trees that was planted on this property prior to us moving in that we actually kept. And this is an ice cream bean tree, otherwise known as Inga. This pineapple patch is a total weedy mess right now, but that's okay because we are still getting production. There's a pretty little pineapple in there. Just pick that. That's nice and ready. We like to let them get fully ripe on the plant. Some pretty pineapples in the bag. Before we move on, I also have to mention this tree right here. This is one of my favorite trees on the property. I grew it from seed, and we actually collected the seed. My wife and I collected the seed on one of our first dates. This is a lemon bay rum tree. Beautiful tree ornamentally, but it also has an amazing aroma to it. Beautiful little tree. Right next to our little fire bush hedge here at the edge of the driveway. You can see the butterflies just dancing all over it. There's always butterflies on this hedge. Right across, we had the fence line planted back there, but we actually just recently carved it out into a larger space. We put these grasses here to kind of border off the edge of the garden, and we planted a few more things right here along the edge. This is a Pitanga Jumbo, another Eugenia species. I tend to like those fruits, so Should be a good one. A rhino horn plantain planted back there. First time growing that variety. And a goldfinger banana, another one from the Honduras FIA breeding project. And right here in front of it, we've got a sweet almond. And there's bees all over this thing right now. This is one of the best smelling flowering plants that you can grow in your garden. Sweet almond, Aloysia virgata. It smells like perfume. And back here we've got another Pickering mango, actually two Pickering mangoes, one there and one right there behind that sweet almond. And those are actually planted about 10 feet apart, which is closer than I would ever plant any other variety of mango, but Pickering is a very compact dwarf variety. So we planted them close here. We wanted to kind of grow them as a hedge along this fence line. And this area is definitely due for a trim back. In the meantime, the ground is completely shaded by all of this vegetation. So that's what we want at this point in the year. Super hot, late summer. We might get rain, we might get a week or two without rain. And so all that shade cast on the ground by our trees here and all the plants and even the weeds is really helping to keep those roots cool, which really helps with an establishing garden and a mature garden alike. Right here we've got a Rollinia tree, Rollinia deliciosa, in the Anona family, so related to sugar apple and soursop and atoya. We did actually get a couple of fruit on it. Now it's just getting its roots established. Right here we actually had two really tall pines that ended up dying. Well, we took it as an opportunity to plant another tree, so the Rollinia got its place. And right next to it we've got a big mulberry. Definitely due for a trim on this guy. This is a Tice mulberry, one of the best varieties to grow here in South Florida. Completely nematode resistant, and the berries are delicious, very juicy. I don't see any fruit on it right now. On the other side, we've got some lemongrass and another mango tree. This is a Venus mango. Great late season variety, pretty large fruit. They can get up to 2.5 pounds. Venus is a pretty disease resistant variety, and keep in mind we're about 15-20 miles from the coast, so it's important to plant fungal resistant types of mangoes out here in Loxahatchee. Speaking of wonderful disease resistant mangoes, this right here is an Edward mango, and this was actually the first tree that I ever grafted. Long story short, it ended up here on this property, and it actually produced its first crop this year. I already gave it another pruning back earlier in the summer, and we might have to trim it one more time before the fall. We were very pleased to get about a dozen and a half mangoes on the Edward tree this year. Right next to the Edward mango, we've got some red Napier grass, which we're using as our chop and drop on this little border right here. We've got another Suriname cherry, a grafted black Suriname cherry. We've got some Turk's Cap hibiscus. This is the pink Turk's Cap. And then behind it, we've got another banana. This is the Mona Lisa variety, another one from the FIA breeding project. And it's double racking right now. This is one plant, fruiting in both directions, different stages of development. And this is another day avocado. Again, probably too young of a tree to actually be holding fruit right now. That maybe is a matter of opinion. Regardless, I think we're gonna pick a couple of these and relieve this tree of its burden of holding these fruits. A couple more here. So just yesterday, I noticed that this bunch of bananas was starting to color up. And this is the dwarf Brazilian variety, actually one of my top choices for backyard banana growers in Florida. Let's bring it down and add it to the wagon. While we're back here, we can check our potted Jaboticaba trees and see if there's any fruit. There definitely is. Look at this guy. So this is a scarlet or escarlate Jaboticaba, and actually this whole row is scarlet Jaboticabas that should all be just coming into their first fruiting cycle. These first couple trees are older, and they've been making a nice crop for us for a couple of years now. So we'll go ahead and pick a bunch of these, and we can eat these, and we can save seed this week and plant some more trees. All right, guys, so I'm having a lot of fun out here picking fruit. We're finding more than I expected, so that's great. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. But I gotta be honest with you, it's late August, it is hot, it is humid, and there's almost no breeze to speak of today. So I'm suffering out here, but I'm having a good time. This is what it's all about. Picking fruit, sharing it with you guys, sharing the experience, and hopefully that motivates and inspires some of you guys to plant more fruit trees in your yard, whether you're in South Florida or somewhere else. Let's start a conversation. You know, we'd love to know who you are. If you're watching this video, if you like this content, we'd love to know about it. So let us know, drop us a comment, and hopefully we'll see you there. Now let's get back to the video. So this part of the farm is not accessible to our customers. It's kind of off limits. This is our plant production area where we grow things up from small to big. We've got a lot of our small fruit trees back here that we hold on and let them grow until they're big enough to sell. And honestly, there's way too many plants here to even mention in this video. We'd have to do a whole nother video or two back here to kind of walk you through everything we're growing. Some big miracle fruits back here with actually some fruit on them. Now, I'm not gonna pick any of these because I personally don't like miracle fruit. I don't like the way it tastes, but some people love it. Some people are really fanatical over it. We'll be picking those for seed. So over here, a really cool plant, kind of infamous. This is called Shampoo ginger, and it's got lots of big juicy cones on it right now. And you wanna come in here and show me how you squeeze the ginger?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, squeeze it.
Ew, squeeze it.
What do you think?
Ew, squeeze. Ew, squeeze. Ew, squeeze. Ew, squeeze. Ew.
So we're getting close to the end, guys, and this back corner is actually our atoya and sugar apple little Anona grove back here. And there may be a couple of fruit worth picking on these trees. This is a red sugar apple, the Kampong Mauve variety. Fruit on it right there. Not near ready yet, but had to show you. Lisa atoya, we've got a cherylata with a passion vine growing all over it. I've got passion fruit on the fence here that needs to be cut back because it's totally wrapping itself around everything in sight. One of the drawbacks of passion fruit is you need some space because it will climb over anything that's planted next to it. So it's trying to eat my dream atoya, Geffner back here. So gotta get in here and do a little bit of maintenance. Beautiful passion flowers, one of my favorite flowers. This is the Phetpak Chong atoya, or the PPC atoya. There's a fruit on here that just looks like it's perfect to pick right now. It's not soft yet, but that is ready to go. So that's a beautiful Phetpak Chong atoya. That'll ripen after a few days on the counter. And this is a very coveted variety of atoya. We'll add it to the bag. Oh, you know what? Look at that. Sugar apple that's ready to pick, and that's actually getting soft. Ready to eat. Yep. There's a Fernandez custard apple, Avocados grass bordering this whole bed right here, keeping it separated from the swale. Huamoa plantain right here that's actually ready to pick. I'll have to cut that down as well, see if we can get all this done before it starts raining. It's starting to sprinkle right now. Painter cherylata, another one over here. This is the San Pablo custard apple, and it hasn't fruited yet, but it's getting to be about that size where we might be expecting some fruit on it this coming year. So real excited about that, kind of a rare tree. Thai sugar apple. Looks very similar to an atoya. One other thing I've been harvesting lately is this Indonesian white seedless guava. Check that out. It's like the size of a softball. I got one and you got one. Here's a big sugar apple in a 45-gallon pot here that's also putting on some fruit. There's actually a bunch of them in there. The farther you look, the more you see. This is kind of a little private stock collection here. And I think we might have to call it right here at this tree. This is my oldest red Jaboticaba. And there's a handful of fruit on here that we can pick. Here's a good looking one for you. Oh, and one for you. And how about one for me? All right, guys, so check it out. This is the end result of all the fruit hunting that we just did. Bananas, plantains, pineapples, avocados, a mango, Jaboticaba, a sweet tamarind, a few types of sapadilla, a few types of fig, 2 types of atoya, a sugar apple, and a rare Indonesian white seedless guava. This is just a one day in late August at Incredible Edible Landscapes. So we are definitely going to enjoy the fruits of our labor today. That was a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work to make a video like this. So again, if you enjoy this content, please subscribe to our channel and like the video and share it with your friends. That goes a long way, helps support our channel and motivates us to make more videos like this. If you're in South Florida and you're inspired to grow your own tropical fruit paradise just like that, we would love to help you get started. Here at Incredible Edible Landscapes, we've got everything you need, from fruit trees to soil amendments to veggies and herbs and spices and pollinator plants. We are South Florida's #1 food forest supply source. We're here in Loxahatchee in the western side of Palm Beach County. So if you're anywhere local to us and you want to get started, come check out the farm, drop us an email, call our phone number. I'll put all that information in the description so you can contact us. I'll put a link to our plant availability list so you can see what we have in stock. And just get in touch with us and we'd be happy to see what we can do for you and help you get the same kind of production out of your yard.